I'm gonna be working again on a Thermaltake 350P Distrocase. Okay, this is my second time doing a build on this case. I can let you see the back of it. Okay, and this will be a 13th gen CPU with a 4090 GPU and an Asus motherboard. Because this build's gonna be a white and red color theme, and also I'll be using this beautiful Toughram XG DDR5 white RAMs from Thermaltake. These are really awesome RGB RAMs. So I'll let you see later what it looks like when it's lit. Okay, and then also I'm gonna be using this very thick copper radiator CL360 from Thermaltake also. And then I'll be using their new CPU block, and also this Pacific Tf2 flow and temp indicator with an LCD panel. So yeah, looking forward to start building on this, and let's go. Okay, I've just finished testing all the PC components, installing Windows 10, and then it's now time for me to remove all the panels, because I'll paint this panels white, and the covers, all the small things like this one that is attached to the acrylic, and then the bracket for the radiator, I'll also paint that white, and some other parts that I could remove and paint, so that, because this is gonna be a white and red color theme build. Okay, I'm gonna start removing everything, prep it for paint, and then I'll show you later what other parts that I've that were painted. It was very difficult for me to paint at this time, because the weather is always cloudy, and sometimes it's raining, and it's very windy. So it took me a long time to finish these parts, but there are some more other parts that will be painted. So this is the first batch of those parts, because the parts of the 350p is all black. So here is the motherboard tray, the radiator mounts, power supply mounts. Also, I've painted the acrylic, laser cut acrylic. I painted the back side of this white and then black, so that the color of the red acrylic would pop out much more. Okay, but I'm still thinking to replace this color combination. Maybe I would choose gray on this, and then the TT logo will be painted as this red, so that I don't know which is gonna be better, combining with the white, so that's for later. And then here the CPU block is painted white. Some of the motherboard heat spreader, also the back of the GPU block to add more white to the build, and then the thick, very thick radiator, Thermaltake radiator, I've also painted white, but this is a combination of glossy white and matte or flat white paint. This is glossy, this is flat white. Yeah, so okay, I'll update you again later on some of the parts. So here's the build now. I've installed the painted parts, painted panels, and also the acrylic cover that I made. And then I'm gonna be using this Thermaltake ring quad RGB fans. And this is the white version. This is gonna look good on the build. Very nice fans. And I'm gonna put it in front and on the back to do a push-pull configuration. Okay. And because this is the second build that I've done with a 350p Distrocase, because before the first one you saw the tubes, the 4 tubes go that way and going down, and I think I'm gonna do this differently, because you'll very well know that whenever I do the same case, well, I want it to be different than the previous one, you know. So this time I'm gonna do it like this, going up and right and going down. Okay, so the hard part on doing this is putting the pass-through fittings aligned with where these fittings are. You know, that was it took me a long time to get the right measurements where this fitting would go here on the pass-through and would be aligned. That was the difficult part. This acrylic cover will be painted white and will be bolted by stainless countersunk bolts and nuts. 3 on the front and 1 on the top. Okay, that's it, and maybe later I'll update you again on the progress. Also, the cable management is done, aside from the flow indicator and temp sensor. Thermaltake's Pacific Tf2, and also the LED strips that will be installed behind the aluminum panel cover. So here, wait, I'll just get a chair. Okay, so I've put aluminum covers here, because I'll be putting additional LED strips in this location, and then LED strips here on the top, aluminum cover for the LED strip on the GPU, so that the sides of the LED strips would not, be seen. And also I did not use the cables for the 16 pin connector that came with the GPU. I've used the Thermaltake stock power cable, because this, I didn't bend this, it just bent it by itself, because this are very soft, and I make sure that it is properly connected. Okay, so cables are set. The only thing for me to do is install the tubes and fill it up with coolant. But again, need to finish installing the LED strips. Hi guys, now I'm gonna install the tubing that I made, and then now Rain is here, and I'm not gonna mute the sound so that you guys can hear how talkative she is.
Nah, I'm not.
Okay. So most of you guys wonder how I do my loop layout. Every time that I do a build, I put the components on the case, the motherboard, the video card, and how many radiators would I put. I put it there, and then I look at it for a couple of hours, sometimes days, and upon seeing that, I create, or I have this image on my head on how I would do the build, or how I would do the loop layout. But sometimes what happens is, for example, there's the same case that I've done previous to previous clients. I check it out, because I don't want that specific build, even though they're the same case, that the tube layout would be the same as that, because every build that I do it for that specific client. That's why it's very difficult for me to, let's say, sometimes, like for example, the Lian Li 011 dynamic, maybe I've done 5 to 8 builds in that same case, I think. But I've done my best not to make those builds look the same. Okay, and that's the difficult part. Okay, so yeah, when I do my builds, I imagine the loop layout. Of course, I calculate and compensate for the cable management, if it's possible to mount it like that, because even though I wanted to draw the layout, because sometimes I see modders or other people that's been gonna do their project, there's always a rendering first, before they do it, and then sometimes people draw. The issue is I really don't know how to draw. Even sometimes I draw a dog or a tree. The dog looks like why are you laughing? The dog looks like a rat or something. I really could not draw. It's really just gonna be bad if I do that. Yeah, and I also don't know how to do rendering on a computer. I could learn, but I'm slow at those kinds of things, so it will take me maybe months or years, just to do that. And I could easily do that in my in my head. Okay?
Really?
Really? Dude. Her name is Rain, but I call her Dude. And my second daughter is Aimee, and I call her Doody. No, we have names here. And me, they call me Pabs. And their mother, they call Mabs. You know. So, yeah. We have other names here. So, yeah. I'm gonna install this first. So, the reason why I do this, I put the O-ring in this way and then this way. I give space because I estimate that this is gonna be the edge of the compression fitting, so that I would know that the tube has gone through the edge of the fitting. Because if you previously worked on a PETG, the clear ones, or an acrylic clear tubes, you would see throughout if it connected on the edge of the compression fitting. But on this particular tube, it's a frosted tube, you would not see it. So at least this way I could, estimate if it, goes through and through the compression fitting. Okay.
Lagay ko yung basura dito.
So,
Yung sa butas ng paa.
no.
Itong paa.
The reason why I try my best to talk in English is the majority of my subscribers in YouTube is in foreign countries. There's just a small amount of, maybe 1/4 of my subscribers are here in the Philippines, but the majority of my subscribers are foreigners or in the States or what. So yeah, I'm not fluent, but I try my best. Rain is very fluent when talking in English.
Really?
No. So you have to bear with me, guys. And my grammar is not that, vocabulary and grammar is not that good, but obviously you could understand me easily. So yeah, and for those guys that wanted to do their projects, or even some other mothers that is starting to do this kind of work, my only advice is, how do you say this? Just try your best to make every build, your project or build, clean as possible. Because the reason why people say, "Hey, Mark, all your builds are beautiful. They're all awesome. How do you do that?" Oh no. There's no perfect build. Every build has its flaws. But the reason why people look at my build is so good, because it's clean. I try my best to do even the simplest things, because even though I don't include it on the video, because I really don't have time to show everything, because I don't have any crew or cameraman here, and my kids is most of the time busy with their school, and it's just seldom that they could help me, or whenever I need some help. So yeah, just try your best to make everything clean. Or for example, you're doing a tubing, don't rush on bending. Try to practice it, and then eventually you're gonna get how it's made perfectly like this one. Don't forget to try to use a square. You know, everything is done in repetitions, like how why, like Jesse Palacio or Modified would say. And that is very, very true. I agree with him 100%. Uh, and also, if you're starting to be a modder, like me or like Mikey or Jesse, oh, just be patient with your builds. Don't rush anything. And you know, try to be yourself. You know, don't try to think about what other people's gonna think and please everyone. You cannot please everyone. Me, when I was starting, you know, I didn't think that, oh, hey, maybe other people would not like this, or maybe this is overkill, or this is too much, or this is too less. I was not thinking about that. I'm always thinking about what I want, what I think I that needed to be done to the build, and my how do you say this? My taste. You know, every modder has their own way, taste, you know, how they see things. Because if you do that, you know, you will be known as, hey, this is the guy that does this kind of work. I like it. Okay. You have to have your own personality when you're doing builds and stick with it. Don't think about what. Me, I personally, I don't. If, for example, it's a brand new case, I don't search in Google what builds I've done before, because it's gonna, how do you say this, gonna influence me. I want every build that I've done uh, my only or my own creation. If there's a similar design that it been done before, and it's fine. You know, maybe it's an incident or what, but you know, that's how I do my builds. Okay, and this really, this work really has, you have to have a lot of patience, and how I always say, if you're happy with your work and what you're doing, the end result is gonna be seen. You know, would you agree, Rain?
Yes, yes.
Now you're not that talkative because you know,
No!
when I mute the sound, you know, Rain is, oh my god,
I'm gonna get
my ears are
exposed.
ringing because of her voice non-stop talking.
I don't
Okay,
wanna get
let's
exposed.
expose to what? Oh, expose that you're so talkative.
Yes. I'm very quiet.
She's very quiet when she's asleep, and that's the truth. Okay, this is the last tube. I've already installed the tubes going to the thick radiator and some other tubes, because it's gonna be, it's hard if I didn't install that at first. Check if the tubes are aligned and squared. So I'll put this like this, and at least have some of the parts. Okay. Oh, this one is not. Okay, I think it's good. Now we're gonna fill the loop, but before that, I'll do a pressure test and then fill the loop. I'll do maybe 2-3 hours of pressure testing, and then we'll fill up the loop. Okay. Thank you guys. Thank you to my client. Thank you Andy and Thermaltake, and see you later on the filling. Really, Rain.
Nice.
Bye.
Bye-bye.